Alrighty, let's go. Welcome back into the Skooshi Sports podcast, guys. In your global sports roundup, I bring you the latest sporting news from around the globe in the last week. Plenty of action happening in the last week. So we're in the midst of the Australian Open at the moment. The Big Bash season, cricket season is just finishing up now, but golf season is underway. The NFL season is just about to finish, but we're still in the full swing of NBA and NHL, and that means we've got footy season just right around the corner, which leaves me been bringing out a couple team previews every single week for you guys. I've now done 15 teams. I have 2 teams to go, which I'll bring out for you next week. So they're all on my channel. They're ready to go, or your Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. So if you're not a fan of Storm or the Eels, or you just want to have a listen to any of them, just go back and have a listen to them. They're really good insight to how I think the team will be looking in 2026. Speaking of NRL, also brought my first episode of Supercoach series called the Trade Room, where I'm going to give you every single week my trade thoughts, just general sort of thoughts on break evens, high break evens, low break evens, captaincy thoughts as well. Look at sort of pods. Gave you my first team reveal last week as well, and you guys have been really enjoying that one as well. So I will be bringing you more and more of that every single week heading into the NRL season, which I'm absolutely buzzing for. We have trials next weekend, guys. We have trials next week, and I am absolutely fizzing for it. Absolutely fizzing for it. But without further ado, let's get stuck into our Global Sports Roundup. Remember to go give this a massive like and to subscribe to my channel. Follow all my socials down in the comments below for even more content. But nevertheless, today we've got our Women's Player of the Week, as per usual, where I always like to start. Then we're going to chat a bit about the cricket, the Big Bash finals, Big Bash final. And then we're going to talk about a bit of the Oz Open, give you a little bit of update on the Oz Open. I'm literally watching Alcaraz and De Minaur as we speak at the moment whilst I record. Chat a bit about the golf. The golf season for 2026 has gotten underway. Then we're going to chat about those championship games on Sunday, man. Holy shit in the NFL. Super Bowl has been 60, has forgot the matchup that we're after. Seahawks and the Patriots battle out in Santa Clara. Then we're going to chat a bit about the NBA and NHL to finish off. But without further ado, let's get straight into our Women's Player of the Week. And this is one bit of a fan favorite, this one. She's absolutely killed it at this Australian Open. Really just taking her career to a new level. Career best run so far. She's not in the tournament anymore, but an Aussie fan favorite. And that is going to be my Women's Player of the Week, Maddie Inglis. Maddie Inglis, what an absolute champion as well. Not just a champion, but born on the same day as yours truly as well in 1998. So the 28-year-old started this tournament qualifying, had to qualify for this tournament the week beforehand. She didn't just make it through easily. She faced 2 match points during her qualifying rounds as well. Saved them, managed to turn around and win that match in the qualifying just to get into the Australian Open to guarantee herself a spot. She has never ever made out the first round of a Grand Slam. She made it to the round of 16, the 4th round. Unbelievable effort by Maddie Inglis. She was the last Aussie woman in the draw. Her best ever finish by far in a Grand Slam. Out of 8 Grand Slams she has played, as I said, she's never made it past the first round. And she managed to beat in the first round. She beat Kimberly Birrell, another Aussie, 7-6, 6-7, 6-4. Absolute cracker 3-set. She backed it up being with the Sigmund, 6-4, 6-7, 7-6. And 9-7 in the tiebreaker. Unbelievable. She was fortunate. Osaka was injured in the 3rd round. She's coming up against Naomi Osaka, the 16th seed. She was out with an injury, so she had a through to the 4th round. She did lose last night, unfortunately, to Iga Swiatek, 6-love, 6-3. But an absolute life-changing tournament for Maddie Inglis. She earned $480,000 Australian in prize money. An absolute major boost after years grinding on the tour. As I said, she's 28 now. Not like she's just come to the tour. She first played her first Australian Open in 2016 as well. So she's been around a very long time. Just an absolute perfect underdog story. And a big positive sign for Australian women's tennis as well. But as I said, massive congratulations to Maddie Inglis. Gets my Women's Player of the Week, an absolute Aussie fan favourite now. Can she go further in a Grand Slam? I'd absolutely love to see it this year and next year at the Australian Open. But massive congratulations to Maddie Inglis on an absolute superb Australian Open. Hope to see you more on tour this year and in the future. All right, let's touch on a bit of cricket, and then we'll touch a bit more on the Australian Open a little bit later. But the cricket, so we were talking about last week, the Big Bash finals were just about to get started. I think they were just in the middle of it, to be honest with you. So we had the qualifying final, so the winner of that goes straight into the final. Scorchers and the Sixers. Scorchers beat the Sixers in that one by 48 runs. Perth only put up 147 at home, and Sixers, they were well in control. They're sitting 3 for 63. Steve Smith was still in. They had plenty. I had to just go like 8 and over to get in 7 wickets in hand, and they got rolled for 99. There were some very awful play shots in there by Sixers. Smith got out obviously in the middle of that. There was a run out where the bat dug into the ground by Mitchell Starc. It was just whatever could go wrong in that last sort of 5 or 6 overs for the Sixers completely went wrong. They had a prime opportunity to win that game and host a final, and they completely fucked it. Gave Perth the win there and to host yet another final. Hurricanes then played the Stars down in Hobart there. The winner of that one would go to face the loser of previous match, which was the Sixers. This one had a bit of a rain to it, so Hurricanes ended up batting first. Only got to bat 10 overs in this one here. They put up 5 for 114. I believe Bo Webster, the Aussie, went up for about 49 of 24, something absurd. Then more rain came in, reduced the Stars' chase to just 7 overs. They had to get 84 off the 7 overs, and the Melbourne Stars, man, one of the only franchises so far to actually not win the Big Bash so far. Like you talk about, obviously, Scorchers, they've won 6 titles now. The Sixers have won a couple. The Heat have won a couple. The Canes have won. Thunder have won. The Strikers have won. The Renegades have won as well. The Stars are the only team in the comp that have not won a one. They've got one of the best teams going around in the league as well. And you would have thought a 7-over chase. You've got Marcus Stoinis and Glenn Maxwell, 2 of the biggest hitters in the world when it comes to this format. 2 of the biggest, and they did not even open. One of them didn't even come in at 3. They had Stoinis come in at 4, and Maxwell come in at 5. It was just like, what the hell? I get it. You got Sammy Harper, player of the tournament, but setting out Joe Clark to open, I said when you got Stoinis, you got Maxwell there, I just thought it was crazy talk. I honestly think they probably could have won this one if it wasn't for that. They ended up getting 3 runs short. Hurricanes won by 3 runs. They ended up getting to 81 runs. Honestly, they were nowhere near it. They needed 26 off the last over. They were, 4 for 58 or something like that. And Stoinis was in. I think Hilton Cartwright was in as well, and Maxwell was in. Stoinis started with a 4, then he got out. Then Hilton Cartwright came in. I think he went 4, 6, 6. And so they needed 11 off 2. And he went 6 to give them 5 off 1. And then he couldn't get a boundary, unfortunately, off Mitch Owen. So they just lost by the 3 runs. But honestly, you cannot blame Hilton Cartwright for not hitting that boundary. It all comes down to either coaching. I'm not sure what happened in the dressing room where it comes down to coaching, or the players, Stoinis and Maxwell, just not wanting to step up. They had to, in that situation, go, no, we are literally Australian representatives. It's a 7-over chase. We have to be opening the batting, getting the most balls possible to go out and get this chase. Because, honestly, you look at 7 overs, they're going to go absolutely nuts. That's only 12 and over when you've got Maxwell and you've got Stoinis, 2 guys who have the ability to go easily 20 and over and smack some boundaries when needed as well. It just seemed crazy that these 2 did not get sent out until later on in the innings. So Hurricanes ended up beating Stars by 3 runs, and then we had the Sixers quite comfortably beat the Hurricanes. They put up 200 plus there. Hurricanes barely put up a chase. I think they got all out for about 140 there. Steve Smith put up another solid score yet again. He's just an absolute freak. Australia have to get the Sixers, have to get Steve Smith in this T20 World Cup squad. They are crazy talk if they don't get him into the squad and completely ruin their chances of winning. I think if they don't get him in, somehow you got to get him in. Doesn't matter what number, he can play literally anywhere if he needs to. Get him at the top, put Mitch Marsh 3 if you need to. Get Steve Smith in this squad. You have to have him there. Have to have him there. So that meant the Scorchers played the Sixers yet again, another Big Bash final. I'm not sure how many now. This must be like number 4 final that they played. And this was in Perth. And honestly, I was going to give the Sixers a good chance here. Just thought they all up. They had a really star-started lineup. You've got Mitch Stark in there. You've got, obviously, Steve Smith in there as well. You've got, like, Philippi. You've got Enrique. Enrique's there as well. You've got some really good talent in there. Sixers went out to bowl. Perth won the toss and at Sixers, and they got all out for 132. And that was off 20 overs as well. Pretty blasé effort. And it was pretty much all over from this, unless Scorchers had absolute disaster. But they started hot. They did what they needed to with Finn Allen and Mitch Marsh, and they chased it down in 17.3 overs to win it all by 6 wickets. That is the 6th title for the Perth Scorchers out of 15. Unbelievable record. They have about a 40% record of winning this comp. It is unbelievable how good they are. That's a shout out to David Payne, the fast bowler for Perth. 3 for 18 of 4 overs in this final. I think he took 2 wickets in the power surge over as well to go for about 3 runs, which is unbelievable. So yeah, massive congratulations to Perth. As much as it gets annoying them winning and winning and winning, you've just got to tip your hat. As a Brisbane Heat fan, we didn't even make the playoffs, but they were just way better when it comes to that sort of thing. The advantage they have in Perth is unbelievable, but I still think they can go absolutely anywhere and win. And they just prove it time and time again. Quickly touching a bit more cricket. This is sad, but New Zealand's actually playing India in 5 T20s at the moment in the series. At the moment, we're down 3-0. I say we as in New Zealand. We've been absolutely smashing all 3. India batting has been absolutely absurd. They are looking very, very good for the World Cup coming out next month. Like, very good. They chased down 209 in just over 15 overs. Then they chased down 150 in 10 overs as well. There has been some absurd hitting by this India top order. And they are looking very, very good coming into the World Cup next month, which is also in India. They will be looking to win that one 100%. All right. Let's chat a bit about tennis, because the Oz Open, I absolutely love the Oz Open. I love it every single year. I just put out a reel tonight when I'm recording this on Tuesday. I haven't seen a whole lot of upsets. I get it, and I absolutely love watching tennis. I could watch it all day, freaking every day. Well, we haven't really seen the upsets that we're used to seeing, or the controversy, I guess, we're used to seeing at a normal Grand Slam compared to your French Opens, compared to your Wimbledons, compared to your US Opens. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. It's just kind of like, you kind of feel like you know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, like when it comes down to your quarterfinals and semifinals and finals, we've got a lot of the seeded players there. There's no sort of guys like, apart from like your Lerner Tien, who I thought was unbelievable. You've got a lot of the top players there. You still got Sinner, you still got Alcaraz, you still got Zverev, you still got Djokovic there. You still got the top 4 there. Still got Musetti, who plays Djokovic tomorrow. You still got De Minaur, who's actually playing Alcaraz as we speak at the moment there. So still a lot of good players playing, which is really cool. Obviously, Medvedev did get knocked out a couple days ago. Lerner Tien, one of the young gun Americans coming through the ranks, 20 years old, absolutely obliterated Medvedev. Handed him his first bagel in a set in a Grand Slam ever. Medvedev has been around for a long time now. To think that's the first time it's ever happened to him is crazy. But the lefty fully deserved it. He was unbelievable 2 days ago. He put up a massive effort today as well, honestly. He lost to Zverev, who was a very good player from Germany. 6-3, 6-7, 6-1, 7-6 to Zverev there. Could not break Zverev's serve all day. Zverev played unbelievable tennis, had very few unforced errors. That'll most likely win you a quarterfinal a lot of the time. But I say, well, it feels like we haven't had much controversy. I feel like the only controversy mainly that we've had is a lot of the heat that's had. There's 41, 42 degree day in Melbourne today. On Saturday, it was about 40 degrees as well. The heat rule actually came in, so they had to actually close the roofs on the big courts. A lot of the outside courts actually had to suspend play until it got cooler. But Jannik Sinner, the world number 2 defending back-to-back champion of the Oz Open, actually was playing during the day on Saturday. He was playing an American, Elliot Spizzirri. And Spizzirri actually won this first set 6-4, and he is up a break as well in the second set. Jannik Sinner in this heat was not coping. He was cramping everywhere. He could actually barely walk or even lift an arm. And then it's like as soon as the umpire saw that come in, they called the heat rule, which meant he could go into the change rooms, into the aircon, go and stretch for 8 or so minutes, I believe it was, while the roof was getting closed as well. Cool off, refresh his mind, get the body a bit looser, come out, whether it was pickle juice or whatever. And it was a complete game changer for Sinner. It just so happened to be at that time. He ended up winning 4-6, 6-3, 6-4, 6-4 to get through get through to the fourth round there. That was the third round clash. He ended up beating fellow Italian Dardiri last night 6-1, 6-4, and 7-6 pretty comfortably as well. So when Sinner plays at nighttime and hardcourt, he's very good, but he knows he got away with one there in that day session there. He knows that's something he has to improve on. He's one of the best players in the world. He's going to be an absolute champion for a long time in the sport, but that is something he knows he needs to work on. He definitely got away with one there. As I said, dodged a bullet, metaphorically. At the moment, we've got Alcaraz playing Sinner. I can't quite see the score. Let me just check. I know it was pretty tight in that first set. So we've got, so far, holding pretty much serve. Carlos actually started 3-love up in the set. He got the early break on Demonor, but Demonor actually broke back. It is currently 5-40 Alcaraz in the first set as I'm recording this. Demonor is serving at 30 all to stay in the set. Could potentially be, having to save a set point. I'll keep you updated pretty much as I try and record this there. We've got, the winner of tonight, they'll place Sasha Zverev in the semi-final in 2 days' time. On the other side of the draw, Novak Djokovic, the number 4 seed, has played the least amount of tennis so far by far of the players that are left. I think he's played under 7 hours through 3 rounds, and that is because his last round opponent, I think is Jakub Mensik, unfortunately pulled out due to injury, so that meant Djokovic got a walkover in the 4th round. So that means he's got more rest as well. There's so much advantage for, especially because he's 38, to go out and try and beat these young guys like Alcaraz and Sinner. He has got the number 5 seed from Italy as well, Lorenzo Musetti. He has got him tomorrow night, which will be an absolute brutal clash. And this is going to be an unbelievable clash as well. Jannik Sinner plays Ben Shelton tomorrow. Ben Shelton, the lefty American, I think he's number 9, 8 seed maybe. He is looking unbelievable, I think. I honestly think there's a sneaky upset on the cards. Shelton, I feel like it's all in his head there. He's got an unbelievable serve, and he's got an unbelievable ground game. His net game is awesome. I watched him last night against Casper Ruud, and he lost that first set against Casper Ruud last night and just absolutely flicked the switch and turned it around. He rides a lot on momentum, and I feel like a lot of it is in his head. Tennis is definitely a mental game for sure because you're playing for so long and you're out there just by yourself. But I do believe Ben Shelton has the potential to upset Jannik Sinner tomorrow. So winner of those two, those two matches will play each other in the other semi-final, and that'll be in 3 days' time from now. On your women's side, number 1, not defending champ, but 2-time Oz Open champ, Arina Sabalenka, absolutely smashed teenager Iva Jovic today, 6-3, 6-love. She is through to another semi-final here in Australia. And I just watched this match before. Holy freaking dooly. Evina Svitolina has absolutely smashed Coco Gauff, the number 3 seed, 6-1, 6-2. Those two now play each other. That was an absolute clinic by Svitolina. Coco Gauff was way off her game, of course. Hardly couldn't get any serves in whatsoever, but absolutely cleaned up. Coco Gauff did Elina Svitolina. That is the wife of Gael Monfils. Svitolina back now into the top 10 of the world rankings after maternity leave a couple years ago. I feel like something's happened in the tennis here. 5-all, so we're going to be going to another couple games in that set. That was an absolute cracking match, what I'm watching. I'm trying to get through this kind of as quick as I can to keep watching that, because that is absolute doozy of a match that is happening at the moment. Tomorrow in our women's, we've got Lena Rybakina against Ia Swiatek tomorrow, and then we've also got Jessica Pegula against Amanda Anisimova. Those two winners will face each other in the semi as well. So we've got some good seeding still left in the women's side, which I really like to see. Sometimes you see like a couple big upsets because it's only best of 3 sets. We haven't really seen it so far. I thought that was definitely an upset tonight with Svitolina, but absolute dismantling Coco Gauff. I can't believe she only won 3 games there. I think she only held a serve, I think I want to say like twice in the whole match, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But Oz Open finishes up on this weekend. We've got the women's final on Saturday and then the men's final on Sunday. I'm picking it'll probably be another Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz final. Those two are just unbelievable. Although there is potential, what I'm seeing now, that Alex de Minaur could actually upset Carlos Alcaraz. Can he keep up with him for 5 sets? I'm very, very intrigued. I just think the class of Carlos Alcaraz would just get him over the line. But very interesting. The 6th seed Aussie looking very, very good in this tournament. All right, let's touch on a bit of golf because the golf season is back underway on the PGA Tour. It did start last week, but I didn't really touch on it. But Scotty Scheffler, first tournament back for the year. First win of the year, first win of the season. He is back and he wins again at the American Express Championship. 27 under for 4 rounds. He won by 4 shots. Shot a 63, 64, 68, and 66. Unbelievable play. This is played on the West Coast. They're in the West Coast swing there at the moment where they go travel through California, that sort of thing there. This is the only tournament on the schedule all year that they do it across 3 different courses, which I find definitely unusual and definitely different because conditions can definitely differ from day to day, that sort of thing. And obviously the greens and whatnot. 3 courses. So you had your Pete Dye Stadium course, you had your Nicholas Tournament course, and you had La Quinta course as well. So this meant it was a 54-hole cut. Each player got a chance on each course to get obviously their best score off the 54 holes. Then they cut it pretty much in half after that. And then they played the last round at the stadium course. And Scotty Scheffler, I said, opened up with a 63. It was only a couple shots off the pace and just kept pressuring and pressuring and pressuring. 1 shot off the pace going to the last round and a pretty comfortable 66 to finish it off. He even double bogeyed the 17th, I believe, as well, to still win by 4 shots. He is unbelievable, Scotty Scheffler. Easily by far the best player in the world, and it's not even freaking close. 59 out of 72 greens of regulation. The fact that he only missed 13 for the week, average of 3 a round, is crazy. 32 birdies for the week, 32 out of 72, nearly half the holes he is birding. Shout out to Australian Jason Day. He did finish tied second there in amongst about 4 other blokes there at 23 under, so a really good starting week for him. Really interested to see where Jason Day actually takes the rest of the year now from that good finish. Would be good to see him definitely win again on the PGA Tour, potentially win another major as well. The fact that it's been, over 10 years since he won that PGA is pretty freaking crazy to think about. I want to give a shout out. I think he's 18, maybe even 19. Blades Brown, a rookie on the PGA Tour. I think he started as an amateur last year. Birdies last, not birdies, but he parred the last 3 in round 2 for a 60. So 59 scores in the 50s come around very, very rarely on the PGA Tour in the pro ranks there. And he parred the last 3 holes for a 60. He was 12 under with 3 holes to go. Absolutely brutal. Obviously he missed, but he missed about a 10-foot birdie putt on the last for a 59, which would have been about the 10th or 11th round, I want to say, in the 50s on the PGA Tour. Jim Furyk still holds the record with the 58. I don't think we have seen that since. I could be wrong. Farmers Insurance Open next week. That is at Torrey Pines, very famous course. Hosted a couple US Opens there. Brooks Koepka, he's back. Brooks Koepka is back, baby. Spent a few years on the LIV Tour. Now he's decided to come back to the PGA Tour. I think for his career is the right thing to do. Means he'll get back to world ranking points. He'll get more shots at playing in majors. Back sort of consistently, hopefully playing Ryder Cups, President's Cup again there as well. He's got all the money that he needs. Not a worry about the money. I think he just wants to win and try and get back to world number 1, which he was back in, when was it, 2017, 2018, where he was literally the best golfer on the planet, and he was unbelievable to watch as well. He won back-to-back PGAs. He won back-to-back US Opens as well. I think he's won 4 majors. Be looking to win a Masters and looking to win an Open to win the Grand Slam there. On the DP World Tour, so that the European Tour, American as well, Patrick Reed won the Hero Dubai Desert Classic at 14 under there. Absolutely love these courses in Dubai. I think the scenery is unbelievable there. He went 69, 66, 67, and finished it off with an even par 72. to win by 4 shots. He had a 4-shot lead going to the last round. I think he had 2 birdies and 2 bogeys there. Nice, comfortable win for Patrick Reed to get his season started. Obviously, Patrick Reed is a guy that is on the Live Tour. He can't go back to the PGA Tour or like go play in the PGA Tour. Master Champion, so we'll see him in there in April there at Augusta. And I'm not sure, obviously, he plays these events for world ranking. See if he gets there at the US Open, PGA, the Open, that sort of thing there. The Masters is the only major he has won. All right, let's get into our American sports. Let's chat about these NFL games because one of them was absolute cracker and the other one was not so cracker. Little tennis update. Well, I've got ya. Carlos Alcaraz held serve 6-5. He's now love 30 now. Demon Horse serving to stay in the set. Carlos Alcaraz 2 points away from winning the first set there against the Aussie. Let's start with the AFC. So we obviously know Seattle and New England will be facing off in Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco there. Patriots played the Broncos in Denver. Jared Stidham, the backup quarterback, starting for Denver there. Patriots won 10-7 in a game that started in clean weather and finished in an absolute snowstorm. This field was finished in white. The Patriots played in white, and you could barely honestly see the players. It was pretty freaking crazy to look at. And honestly, look, better team won, I thought. But you got to look at it's one of those things. Like, if Bo Nix played, I do think Denver win this one here. Denver defense only gave up 1 touchdown, and that was an easy field possession as well, given to the Patriots inside like the 15 yards for the Patriots. Drake May ran that one in there. Drake May didn't have to do much in the passing game, but I thought he is very impressive on the ground there. 10 carries for 65 yards, including that touchdown. Had a 28-yard run, including that 6-yard run to clinch the game there as well and get to the kneel. He only went 10 out of 21 for 86 yards, so he didn't have to do a whole lot in this game, as I said. On the Denver side of things, Jared Stidham, he got off to a cracking start, man. He threw a 52-yard ball to Marvin Mims down the field, which set up their first touchdown to take the lead 7-0. 17 out of 31, 133 yards. He did throw a crucial interception in that last drive of the game, which pretty much set it up for New England to go win that one. But thought Stidham would be a little bit better, but I guess in those conditions against that defense, I was probably expecting a bit too much. And I probably expected better from the run game. RJ Harvey, only 37 yards. Stidham went for 23, but McLaughlin didn't do much on the ground either. Not a whole lot really happened in this game. I think it was 7-all at halftime, and there was 1 field goal after halftime there. Big turning point, I thought, for me in this one here is Denver was 7-0 up and were driving down the field to go potentially 10 or 14-0 up. And they were 4th and 1. They decided not to run. They decided to go for it, not even take the points, and they fucked it up. And I just thought, even if they go 10-0 up, that's a 2-possession game there at home as well. Back your defense and actually prove dividends in the end there. Incredible win by New England. They now play their 10th Super Bowl, which is pretty freaking crazy to think about, more than any other franchise in the league by far. They will be going for their 7th Super Bowl title as well, which will actually match Tom Brady's record there. They will now face Seattle, which this NFC game was easily by far the pick of the bunch. Seattle getting the win 31-27. These 3 teams have played absolute doozies of matchups this year. 2 teams have played 3 unbelievable matches this year, which is, sorry to interrupt, Carlos Alcaraz wins the first set 7-5 against Demonor, breaking his serve there. Carlos Alcaraz 2 sets away from a semi-final against Alex Zverev there. All right, back into the NFL. Cracking match. Absolute cracker. I think, honestly, if you were to look at the 2 best teams in the league, it's probably these 2 teams. It's just a shame that they can't be in the Super Bowl. It was 21-19 in the first match, and then 38-37 in the second match, and then we get 31-27 in this match here. Free for all to play for. I thought these 2 teams were unbelievable considering how good these 2 defenses are. The 2 quarterbacks I thought were unbelievable. Matthew Stafford, 22 out of 35, 374 yards, 3 touchdown passes. Sam Darnold, a guy who I have to really tip my hat. I did not expect to see this in the playoffs. He's been really, really good. 25 out of 36, 346 pass yards, 3 touchdowns. No interceptions from either quarterback there as well. Running game wise, Blake Corum was awesome. No, Kyron Williams scored a touchdown as well. 10 runs, 39 yards. K9, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, his running back partner, has been injured for the season now. Got injured last week. Has really stood up in this situation. 19 runs, 62 yards, a touchdown as well. To go with 4 catches for 49 yards as well. He has been unbelievable for Seattle. But as I said, I do have to tip my hat to Sam Darnold in this situation. He is completely, he's really impressed me. Completely, shocked me in regards to I thought he'd absolutely shit the bed. I didn't even think they'd get past the divisional. I thought if they didn't get number 1 seed, I thought they'd lose in the wild card just because I didn't think he'd perform. But he's looked really impressive. And I think Seattle absolutely creamed New England in the Super Bowl. I think Seattle is so far the best team easily now after they beat the Rams. I think they'll clean up New England. I think Drake May is coming up another good defense. I just don't think he can handle it for another week. Should be good conditions there in San Fran. I think Seattle absolutely batters him. JSN, Offensive Player of the Year, I think 10 catches, 153 yards, 1 touchdown. Absolute freak. On the other side, Puka Nacua, it was a wide receiver duel for the ages. Puka Nacua, 9 catches, 165 yards, and a touchdown as well. These two guys are absolute freaks at what they do. Probably the 2 best wide receivers going along in the league, along with Jamar Chase there as well. And obviously my boy Tedero McMillan. That is tongue-in-cheek. I am kidding. But just an overall very, very good game. Exactly the kind of game you want to see for a game that's for a spot in the Super Bowl. I hope we get a game like this next week. I just, for some reason, feel like we won't. But this is a very deserving game of a championship sort of game. Massive shout out to Seattle making the Super Bowl. They'll be looking for Super Bowl 49 revenge against the Patriots. You're not sure about Super Bowl 49? Just go look at the Malcolm Butler interception from Russell Wilson with 20 seconds to go from the 1-yard line. One of the most iconic plays ever in NFL history there. Seattle with a chance to win. That one there, butchered it. Tom Brady gets another ring. Seattle, although not Tom Brady there anymore, although not Russell Wilson there anymore, although not Pete Carroll there anymore, although Bill Belichick not there anymore, they will be looking to get their revenge 100%. Let's touch on the NBA. Let's do a little weekly review because we've got a number 1 power ranking. Been OKC most of the year. We had Spurs there for a couple of weeks. Now we have got the Detroit Pistons, baby. You absolutely love to see it come out pretty much out of nowhere in the last few years, and that has all helped to definitely Cade Cunningham, who's been unbelievably impressive this season. Now dropped to $11 in the MVP race. Power rankings wise, that NBA's done. They've gone Pistons, OKC second, Rockets, Spurs, and the Nuggets round out the top 5. Do have to give a massive shout out to the Denver Nuggets, considering how well they have played without Nikola Jokic, their sort of MVP in the side there. I think they have a record of 7-5 now, or something really impressive without him there. The fact that they've had a positive record without him absolutely speaks a lot about the depth that they have, the coaching that they have. Jamal Murray to step up in the plate there as well with Adam. He'll be back. He should be back within a week or so, I reckon. I haven't heard an update, but he will definitely be taking Denver very, very far in this league there. If I look at where they are sitting, they're sitting still third, tied second essentially in the West behind OKC there. So they have a very good chance definitely of hosting a home playoff series, even finishing second in the conference there. Our team of the week in NBA. Let's go out to Toronto Raptors, baby. Went on a 5-game road trip. Went 4-1, baby. They won their last 4 games of that road trip as well. They capped it off with a win in OKC as well. OKC now lost 2 games in a row. Very, very good win on the road. I think they won by 2 points in that one there. Very good win. Now puts them back more into the Eastern Conference. I was giving them a little bit of slack last week or the week before. They now sit just behind Boston. They now sit third back in the East. They're looking very good. Nice young team. A lot of direction there. You love to see it. The worst team of the week. Gave this team some praise, it felt like, in December. And the Brooklyn Nets now have gone 0-4 in the last week. And not just 0-4. They have been absolutely hammered. They put up, I think, 66 points against the Charlotte Hornets, which was the lowest score by a team in the last 10 years. They got the ass kicked against the Clippers as well on yesterday, I believe it was. They lost by like 40 against them as well. They're looking pretty dire. They've gone 1-9 in the last 10. They're probably looking at sort of a tanking situation now. I don't know where they started it. They're going to be competing with the Wizards definitely for the tanking sort of spot. Yeah, some pretty bleak teams in the NBA this year. What I will say, the Clippers are now in the play-in spot. They were last year. I think they've gone on a 15-3 game run, which I find unbelievable. They're playing unbelievably well. Detroit and OKC are the top of the conferences at the moment. Detroit 5 games ahead of Boston in second there. OKC 5.5 games again ahead of San Antonio. But nothing really has changed much in regards to the standings so far in the conferences. Still got SGA sitting at the MVP race at $1.20, the firm favorite there. He popped off for 40 points. I believe it was against the Raptors or against the Pacers in the last couple games there as well. Still got Luka there. He went for 40 plus yet again today against the Bulls in a win there. Kay Cunningham still continues to drop in the MVP race odds as well, down to $11. Well, I'm pretty sure at the start of the season, I'm saw it about $67 after the first couple of weeks. He has been mightily impressive for Detroit this year. Unbelievable. As I said, nothing has really changed much in the standings in the conference, right? You still got the Raptors, Knicks, Cavs, Sixers just hanging there amongst it. And then in your play-ins, you still, shocker, you still got the Heat, Bulls, Hawks, and the Magic there as well. No one's really gone in any massive sort of big surges at the moment. Also, we just spoke about the Raptors going on a 4-game win streak on the road there as well. OKC slipping a little bit as well. Now had 10 losses for the season. You look at... See, this is where it gets confusing because OKC have played 47 games and Detroit have played 44, right? Detroit's only lost one more game than them. So we could actually soon at one stage actually have Detroit at the top of the whole league standings. Not that it matters. It's just like, you know, we do actually have like probably a better team in the league at the moment than OKC, realistically. OKC just stumbling up a couple times, you know, lose against the Pacers, and then losing against the Raptors at home as well. So 7-3 in the last 10. You look at the sort of the runs, like Clippers are really probably the form team, I would say, at the moment, which is really surprising. I said on a 15-3 game run at the moment, 8-2 in the last 10. Comfortably in that play-in spot now as well. And honestly, you look at that and how they're going, they're probably thinking, yeah, we can actually finish top 6 and actually guarantee ourselves a playoff spot and not have to play the play-in, which is crazy to think about considering how they were so bad to start the season. They were so freaking bad. So freaking bad. Look at the offensive sort of the player sort of stats. Luka comfortably still leads the players point stats, 33.4. You still got Kay Cunningham leads the assists, so that's why his MVP odds are coming down. 9.7 assists a game there. Karl Anthony Towns leads the rebounds, 11.4, but you've got the big guys like Rudy Gobert and Zubac there as well. SGA 32.1 points a game there as well. I do think SGA is a bit of a foul merchant, honestly. Like, I get it. He's in the best team probably in the NBA, but I do love Luke, and I think what Kate Cunningham is doing this year is really, really good as well. Just an overall team player, obviously getting the assist there as well, averaging nearly a double-double every game there as well, which I just think is mightily impressive. All right, let's touch on the ice hockey to finish off this episode. We've been going for a decent amount of time now. We talked about last week that the league is stopping in about a week or so for the Winter Olympics. Winter Olympics in the hockey don't actually get started for 2 weeks, but they stop the February 5th for the Olympics. That doesn't resume until the 25th of February, so we do get a good 3 weeks off the hockey. A lot of teams are getting crammed with their games at the moment here, and I spoke about all year, and I think I spoke this last week as well. Avalanche have been absolutely dominating the league pretty much all season, and they still are. They've now lost 4 of their last 6. A couple, losses at home there as well. They lost in a shootout to the Ducks at home. They got blown out against the Predators at home in regulation there as well. They've had 2 losses in regulation now at home. Yeah, I think they lost to the Predators, I think 7-3 at home on the weekend, which I just find, like, Predators, like, they're hanging there amongst it, but it's not like they're one of the better teams. They're sitting, like, middle to bottom, like, of the Western Conference there. they've still got the number one power ranking in NHL, right? You've got the Lightning, Canes, Hurricanes, Stars, and then the Minnesota Wild there to round out the top five there. I would probably agree that's your top five there at the moment. You still got the Panthers, I think, still to come back after the Olympics there. You still got Kachuk to still flow in back to that team. Still got Barkov to come back, whether it's before the playoffs, I'm not quite sure. The Oilers, they'll be there amongst it. So will Vegas there as well. But kind of seems like always one of those things like the Stars and the Wild are in the same conference as the Avalanche. So one of these two teams will most likely will have to face either each other in like the semifinal or face the Avalanche in the final there as well. And it's just whether like they can live up to it. And like I get it, like they're in the top five power rankings, but realistically, how much chance do you actually give them of winning the Stanley Cup? That's why you see the Lightning, the Hurricanes, Vegas, even Edmonton, and even Florida have better odds to win the Stanley Cup than the Stars and the Wild at the moment there. Still want to give a shout out to the Buffalo Sabres, man. It looks like they've finally turned a corner as a team since they've sacked their GM. 7-2-1 the last 10. 3 wins in a row now. They've pretty much won since we've spoken. Now sitting actually in the top 3 in the Atlantic. What the hell? To think they're sitting top 3 in the Atlantic is just freaking crazy to think about. So the New York Islanders, got to give them a shout. And the Pittsburgh Penguins coming second in the Metro. Spoke to so many people at the start of the season, and they had Pittsburgh like tanking halfway through the season, trading Sidney Crosby, their best player, trading other players as well to, try and get a good draft position. And it's not happening. They literally got a really good playoff chance as well. So did the Bruins, another team that was expected to, sort of falter a lot this year as well. But in terms of teams that are on a massive run right now, you look at this like 1-1, like lost one. A lot of teams are really going on a big sort of winning streak at the moment. It's honestly really the Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres at the moment who are actually on win streaks. So are Florida in retrospect, 6-4-0 in the last 10. But it's just interesting now because Tampa Bay is slowly creeping up on Avalanche in the full standings there. Avalanche starting to slip a little bit here and there. Probably looking like call it cliche, call it, squared. Like these two teams will probably be facing off in the Stanley Cup final later on in June this year. I'd love to see the Sabres get to the playoffs and then get through to the second round. I think it'd be so freaking cool. Even cool to see the Red Wings up there as well. But as I said, the Penguins up there is really surprising. So is the Bruins. My pick would be the Bruins fade and the Panthers get in. Same with the Leafs and the Capitals there as well. I expect the Capitals definitely to muster up late in the season. They're on a bit of a bad run at the moment. 3-6-1 in their last 10. At the moment there, the West at the moment, San Jose is still holding on to a wildcard spot. Anaheim is back in there as well. Finally starting to win some games again. They're on a bad run. 7-3 in their last 10. Not too many teams. I'd look at that and think maybe they should be in the playoffs. Probably the Kings, who aren't there at the moment. Maybe the Kraken even there as well, but I don't think the Kraken are realistically that good. I still think Winnipeg has a little bit to give. They're finally starting to win a couple games here. They're only 8 points off a wildcard spot, which is only 4 wins. It's not a whole lot in retrospect. They've got the best goalie in the league, in my opinion, there. And their attack is just woeful. They've just got to start scoring goals, and I think they'll actually click. They've got the same goal difference as the Kings, who are on 55 points. The Jets are on 47. They've got the same goal difference as them. So it doesn't feel like they're that far off. It just feels like they've just got to get the offense sorted, and they'll be fine. But it's just wild as NHL seasons. Like the Rangers, it's a team that was tipped to make the playoffs, sitting last in the Eastern Conference, not by close, by far as well. And they actually had an overtime win against the Bruins today, avenging their 10-2 loss that they had against them a couple weeks ago. They finally won at home. They have a 6-17 record at home, which is unbelievable to think about. Still 2-7-1 in the last 10 games, so just not winning games at all. I'm not sure where they tank. I know they've got a couple of Olympians in their team as well. Whether they tank after, I'm not quite sure. Whether they think they can still make it, there's 13 points off a wildcard spot. I just don't see it. But yeah, easily over halfway through the season, played over 50 games now. Pretty much every team has played over 50 games, so 30 games to go in the regular season. The playoff race is just starting to heat up a little bit there, which is really exciting to see. But that will do it for me for this episode. That was a pretty lengthy episode when I was trying to move it through pretty quick there. Little tennis update while I just got you to finish it off. Alcaraz has got the early break in the second. He hit up 2-love in the second set, serving at 40-30 to go up 3-love again in the second set here, like the first set. Can Alex de Minaur bring it back? I'd absolutely love to see it. I'd love to see an absolute cracker 5-setter. We've only seen a couple of them, like with Medvedev, he had one. We haven't really seen too many massive sort of 5-setter games that have been absolute classics. Alcaraz wins the point, goes up 3-love in this set here. Looking pretty good. Looks like he'll probably go 2 sets to love up. Can Alex bring it back? It's an absolute cracker match. I've got to go back and get back to watching it. But that'll do it for this week on the Skooshi Sports podcast, your global sports roundup. Massive congratulations to Maddie Inglis once again. Absolute stellar tournament in the Australian Open, reaching the 4th round for a first time out. The first time she's made it past the first round. 480k in the bank, baby. Hope she goes spends it well. But touching on all things sport for you there. Remember to go check out my NRL team season previews. 2 more to go for the season, Storm and the Eels. And make sure to go check out my team reveal, so NRL Supercoach and how you can win it this year. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of The Trade Room. I'll be back here next week. I'll be here all freaking week, baby. Thank you so much for watching, and cheers.